Living in America. Welcome, Canada. Hello, hello. So, let's see what's happening today in the news. No, screw the news. We're not going to talk about that because it's going to make you more stupid, more unaware. Anyway, I'm doing like a lot of emotional work therapy lately, coming to some new realizations, and I kind of like it uh, because things that before I did not understand, they start to become clearer, which feels kind of good. Um, there were so many things I wanted to talk about, but I was doing some other things and I forgot. And but I have some notes down, and basically what I'm doing the last few days, um, actually a bit less meditation. And today I even skipped breath work because I simply forgot, and I was too focused on doing the emotional work, which is basically the intention was, to manifest changes and more abundant life. So getting finances in order. Um, through this means, through working with mind first. And there are different ways how you can go about. And I am doing a combination of EFT, which is emotional freedom technique, um, and IFS, internal family system, and some other like things that I found out, combining them, and it's funny to see, how beliefs start to, well, first, how you are surprised what kind of beliefs and emotions are in you, because we usually don't have time to look into these things. We just have these surfacey feelings. We don't really know where it's coming from. But when you go a little bit, when you meditate and you go a little bit deeper, you start to see how you're actually thinking and feeling, and also why, to a large degree, what influences you unconsciously, subconsciously. And well, first, you're kind of like surprised, and if you approach it with the right techniques, with an awareness, you start to understand more. Funny, your awareness increases, your understanding increases, and your judgment decreases. And you start to see things in a new light, which is kind of the point. To change the perspective, you need to change, and you will see things in new light. And there are ways how you do that. I feel meditation being the core, and then this emotional work that I keep on mentioning. And it's crazy, like I found out so many things again. I did this in the past, but now I try to introduce some structure, so there's not just whole bunch of beliefs, but it's targeted now at the moment, working on the abundance. So it's targeted in this area. And then, all kinds of different things come up that you don't even expect. And it's well, first it's like a little bit overwhelming. You don't know what to think about it. It's like you put your brain in a mixer and just blends it. And but then, well, I do have some experiences with it, so I start to structure it better. And I've seen how, for instance, the abundance for me was connected with well, it's almost as funny, like with power, and then that was connected with masculinity. So I will probably do a video just about that. Also femininity, but as a guy, I can talk about more masculinity, although I'm quite familiar with a more feminine energy as well. um And I've seen like how certain judgments that we made when we are younger unconsciously, and certain beliefs, they completely change your relation to, well, in this case, masculine energy, and then power, strength. And if you connect, for instance, the abundance with, being free, being powerful, it's something that if you have negative connotation about these things, it's going to screw you up. So because you're going to find a way how to not see opportunities or sabotage them, and then you're living life, unconsciously, and which is very painful. And for instance, like I'll maybe in this one I will talk a little bit about masculinity. Okay, I'll talk a lot about that because I've seen, it's so important. And I see like for youngsters, like there's, you can look at this historically, but like youngsters now, they're looking for, or always have been looking for role models. And a lot of men in today's world, they become a little bit weaker, independent, and demasculated because, the history, I believe it was, first men were, I don't know if it's first. I guess you can go down the history. First somebody did this, the other one did this. Cause and effect. So I'll start with, even though it's not like that. It goes to, to degree back. But masculine, had to be strong, has to kill, and develop a lot of ego. And then this ego abused the feminine, and then the feminine backlashed with raising weaker men. They say, which I think it's pretty true, I would say. So now I'm talking like maybe, few centuries, and now the result is like that again. That masculine you will see is like kind of rising up. Um, but what I've seen is like you see a lot of destructive masculinity. I still see, regarding the man, like, calling somebody like a man a bitch, or to try to kind of motivate him and to kind of like, get him through the some challenge, when it could be really, it actually can be useful in some cases but very detrimental in others. And then, you know you either have now either this weaker man, that they don't stand up, they let women walk all over them, and they don't have thing going on, they don't pursue something, they ask for approval and so on. And then you have these egos, like, Elon Musk, Andrew Tate, these two come in mind the most, but there's a bunch of them, and they're like me, like, okay, Elon Musk has this more, like, I'm this autistic geek, who is genius, and look what I can do, even though that's not really what's up, but he's represented like that. So these youngsters that feel awkward, never had like masculine role model, they see like, wow, and they really admire him, even though I don't believe that this is uh even though you could find some masculine traits probably, but it's not the healthy version of it. In fact, if you will look into deeper into him or things like that, you will find up, a whole bunch of things that are actually quite detrimental to masculine and to humanity. um, but that's my opinion, what I see, unfiltered. And then you have like people like Andrew Tate, this fighter, he, imagine, these are like big, tall, huge, masculine guys that had like army father, like, as what I know, so the fighting was the way to do it, so then you just go through everything, then you go and you're like, you try to be this cool guy who has women and money, and then all these youngsters, you look at this and it's like, wow, I want that, and he's very assertive, which is masculine, but you could be stupid and unaware and assertive, and then men try to imitate that, and if it's combined with some good things and some quite unaware things, the man will take that because it feels its power, even though it's like, I believe, dysfunctional power. not true power, but nevertheless power to great degree. You can with this functional power you can achieve a lot. That's why elites are ruling the world. It's false power. So I see it just one of the ways how the false power manifests. This physical strength and the image. It's all about that and what I can get. Look, I take care of so many people, all these things, but it's basically just this overinflated ego, narcissism, which um I feel like it's like a step in evolution of a person and a humanity. If you cannot find anything better than that, um you know then it's better than nothing, I guess. That's why people pick it. They think it's cool. They can relate to it. They will defend it. They will die for it. Because it's brotherhood and stuff like that. And there's a lot of things in brotherhood. But remember, brotherhood is used, on raising, becoming a man is used by army recruiting soldiers who have to go and kill other people for the sake of politicians and their games. So you know uh, I would, and this is not about me criticizing, but it's about like showing a light, a little bit, some awareness into it, because I always see there are pluses and minuses, so you can see like, oh, how life is all bad, negative, and it's happening to you, you know, or you can say like how life is happening for you, or advanced versions by you, but that's uh, it's better to come to this realization by yourself, not just listening to some dude on the internet. But nevertheless, I've seen that how these games, that we play, and it's actually, in a way, it's like evolution. One somebody does that, cause and effect. And I guess people will learn that people like Elon Musk and Tate is not it. Is not what is the guy, top G? Top G. I'm top G. Okay, right. I mean, it's like for teenagers and it works, and I think if you are and like I said, there are good things, but if you're some self-respecting man, you find your own answers and you pick your own challenges, and you don't, I mean, I would say like, yeah, your role models are useful, but I don't know, let life be your role model. Let you connecting with the source of who you are determine what's right or wrong, not some person there who is like collecting money on your expense. So I would say this in general, not just people that I mentioned, but in any way, people are so looking for someone, I would say, okay, I'll correct this. Role models useful, but my suggestion would be find somebody who tells you where they got their power. Find somebody who will show you how to be powerful yourself for real without them. So you don't need them, that you don't even need to pay them. Of course, if they've done some work, and they put some work into things, yeah, it's fair. If you want to get this knowledge, I guess if you're not close friends, you'll give something in return that they want, money, and they'll teach you. I think that's fair, because I was also looking for the abundance. If you put a lot of work into things, and if you want it to expand, it needs to be fed with energy, which is attention and money in this physical world. So I think that's fair. But I've seen people, these role models, prefer more somebody that you admire them, giving them attention, and pay them your money, and also create some sort of dependency. I would say all of these role models should teach you directly how to find the power by yourself without them. And all that what I've seen mostly is like they just, well, they'll teach you their way, but create dependency, and people will project their own sense of power on them, like they are better. They're really not better. There's certain ways kind of came together that they appear better in this kind of, like, let's face it, dysfunctional world. But it's not really true. And I think things will, some people already know, they start to see through things. The more you have the awareness, the more you'll be able to see through things, people, and yourself. That's how you learn. And I think that's the real power, is the awareness. Not how much attention you can grab, how much you can manipulate people, how much you can exploit them because you're supposedly superior intellectual, physical power. Um, that's not what actually real masculinity is about, or the life should be about. So uh, I like to like expose or put an insight that I have with my awareness into these things, because you need to level up things in this world. You know, people were different, but still, you know, everybody should step in their own power. And for somebody, it will mean being a gardener, somebody like some leader. But there should not be this the dependency. It's interdependence. It's not like, oh, I'm better and look at me. What is that? It's like so much immature. It's like we're like 12 years old. So, but I guess it sells today. So that's why it's used. And all this, you know pumped up faces on the YouTube videos, that attract attention. It's like a cheap trick, and people keep falling for it because they don't know how to connect this to true power. So I'll be talking more about these things and masculinity and other stuff, because I think it's important, and it seems to be like some stepping stone on my journey in the current challenge, 30-day meditation challenge, where I picked like kind of like smaller challenges with health and finances, which is what I tend to be interested in. But I'm more like interested in the principles of it, not obviously actual materialization in this world, but the principles of how things go from ether to thought to the physical matter. Um, that's an art I'm interested in. So anyway, that's so much for today. It's funny, it's interesting, because actually, usually I don't even know what I'm going to talk about, but I feel this is very important topic. I'm sharing for these things that came up at the moment. I actually have a bunch of things even written. I have so many things, but so much for today. Don't want to make this too long. So you motherfuckers will still watch it. Just kidding. So anyway, have a good one, and yeah, see you soon.